Hey guys, so this will be a series of attack versus defense, and we're going to look at game one between two international masters here. And it's white to play in this position, and white plays the move bishop to d3, pointing both his bishops towards the black king side. And clearly, castles would be a very risky move here with so many weaknesses. So black here plays the move bishop to d6, which is a very good move. If white exchanges, queen takes, and suddenly black has solved all his problems. But white plays the move rook to e3, a very flexible move, preparing any sort of rook transfer to g3 or h3 depending on where the black king goes. And here the black king went wrong. He went to the queen side, which is a clear mistake. But I think here black had a better try. So what do you think black could have played in this position? You can pause the video and try to find it out. Well, in this position, black should have played bishop takes e5. He continues with his plan, and rook takes e5 is no longer an option because I think after rook d8 black is simply winning. So d takes e5, and now a very odd move by black, and that is the move g6. It feels ridiculous. Why would black play g6 in this position? But you have to look at the long-term picture here. Even though there are a lot of weaknesses in black's camp, there's some weak dark squares which you can totally picture: rook h3, queen d2, queen h6, and mate coming on h7. This is very risky, but black has two open files, the d file and the c file. Black will use this to create significant counterplay and not allow white to create any sort of serious threats on the king side. So let's see how that will come true. So after queen g4, white attacks. Black says, I don't give a damn, let's castle, show me your attack. And after rook h3, well, this feels serious. You know, your heart will start pumping already. Oh my god, I'm getting mated. But then suddenly comes queen d5. And now the queen cannot go to h4 because of queen g2 mate. So, well, white plays rook e1 because the e5 pawn was also hanging. And now rook c8. So here, if for example, white is careless and plays bishop e4, black simply captures his bishop and there is mate, of course. So let's say white plays bishop f1 and he defends the mate, and now he's ready to play queen to h4 and threaten mate. So you play the move queen to d2, attacking the rook. So for example, queen h4, white is like, take my rook, but I'll mate you. But now h5, and suddenly you see the entire picture. First of all, black has prevented mate. There's no immediate mate here. The queen can also come back to defend the dark squares clearly. The rook is coming into the position. White's pieces are hanging. And even though white has an attack, it's not really a serious attack because white's pieces are misplaced. Black's pieces are doing a much better job of kind of holding the position and creating simultaneously an insane attack on white. So if you look at this position, what is the problem here? The problem for white is he's not able to create an escape route for his king. If, for example, there were no back rank problems here, I think white would feel much safer going for a full-on attack with, for example, g4, f4, or any sort of bishop sacrifices on g6. But because there's back rank issues, he's always struggling. So what if we change a few things? Let's come to this position, and instead of rook h3 directly, let me go for h4 first. Let me try to give my king a square on h2 and also include one more attacking force into the entire game. And after, for example, rook a d8, which is actually the best move for black, trying to play queen to d4. If black exchanges queen, black is clearly better. And after h5, queen d4, white cannot do this. He has to play queen g5. And now this is a very interesting moment because white is threatening many things. First of all, takes, and bishop takes g6 is a serious threat. Then h6 and queen f6 is a serious threat. So black has to be on his guard, and that's why rook to d7 is a very important move. So if now, for example, white captures, f takes, and suddenly the rook defends everything. And if white were to play h6, then comes another spectacular move, f5. And black defends everything. After ef6, black can even capture this pawn first. And once this rook moves, then he will go back with the queen and black is absolutely winning. So that's why white has to be a bit more cautious here. Instead of pushing anything, he should go for the move rook to g3, putting more and more pressure on black. And now I'm going to urge you to find the best move for black here. This is going to be very interesting. Try to find the best move. In this position, black plays the move queen to b6, which sounds and looks just like a psychopath playing chess, because this makes no sense. How can a human play such a move? And that is actually true because this is the engine's first preference, but it is still logical. The idea is to play queen to d8 For example, if white plays, let's say, a move like rook to e1, defending the e5 pawn, well, that sounds very logical, trying to bring the second rook into the game as well. That is the advantage of having pushed the h pawn, because you can include more pieces into the attack without wondering about any back rank mates. But here comes the move queen to d8, and suddenly the queen is being exchanged. There is pressure on d3, and white has nothing here. In fact, if he trades queens, I think black is, well, much better. So that's why the best try for white is queen h6. And after rook d3, all he can do is capture, capture, takes, and he can take a draw here, because what happened in the game was much worse for black. Black here played queenside castles, which is almost impossible to believe from an international master. But then after a4, opening up the queen side, bishop e5, d5, queen d5, white plays queen f1, defending g2, and also putting a lot of pressure on b5. Black responded with queen d4, but after ab5, a5, and rook takes a5, white is completely winning, and black soon resigned. So this clearly shows how, if you put your opponent under pressure, they can easily crumble, and that's why attacking chess is important. And also, when you are under attack, why finding the best moves can mean the difference between a loss and a potential draw, or even a win. If you like this video, you might like this one as well. Do check it out and let me know your thoughts.